Tonight on CTV Sports, we recap CSU Football's heartbreaking overtime loss to Minnesota.
Plus, we have a full sit-down interview with Colorado State quarterback Nick Stevens.
And don't miss out about hearing about CSU volleyball and soccer's busy weekend.
All this and much more coming up on CTV Sports. Hello everybody, welcome to another CTV Sports. I'm Travis Green.
And I'm Brett Kennedy. Trav, football season is in full force.
Yeah.
NCAA football just finished its second week and the NFL season started yesterday.
Yeah, Broncos pick up the win, and how about the Cowboys?
Man,
yesterday?
Tony Romo, they don't give that guy enough credit.
Well, CSU football's weekend didn't end as hoped. For the first time since 2007, a Power 5 conference team was at Hughes Stadium on Saturday. Pretty fair to say that the team was fired up after the blowout victory over Savannah State. After winning the coin toss, CSU elected to receive, and the first play from scrimmage, Nick Stevens hurls this one up in the air, and oh no, that's the wrong team. Intercepted right there. The defense picks up the offense quickly, getting a 3-and-out. Dalen Dawkins goes in and gets the 31-yard rush here on this one. Breakout speed from Dawkins. Shortly after, CSU is forced into a 3rd and 8. Nick Stevens finds open space and keeps the drive alive on the 10-yard run right here. A little shake and bake from Stevens. Later on the 17-yard line, Stevens hands this one off to Dawkins, and former Denver Bronco great Brian Dawkins' nephew finds the end zone. Rams up 7-0. After back-and-forth defensive drives, Minnesota quarterback Mitch Leidner bulldozes his way for 19 yards right here. Man, that's a big quarterback right there, Brett.
He is big.
Yeah, later on in the drive, Ryan Santoso finishes it off with a 35-yard field goal, bringing Minnesota within 4. Minnesota winds up getting another field goal before halftime and scoring a touchdown to start the second half. Then Nick Stevens goes in and struggles continue. Second pick of the game. Minnesota's offense later on gets the ball but fumbles right here, and the Rams dive on it and wind up picking this one up. Great field position in the third quarter, but the offense lulls continue, and the Rams have to settle for a field goal, and now the score is 13-10 Minnesota. In the fourth quarter, Coleman Key, now in the game, finds Joe Hansley, who takes this one 49 yards to the house. Touchdown Rams. CSU is now up 17-13. Unfortunately for the Rams, Leidner and his offense weren't ready to settle on a loss, though. Minnesota puts together a drive capped off by this touchdown pass, giving Minnesota a 20-17 lead with just 55 seconds left to play. 55 seconds left on the clock, down 3. Redshirt freshman Coleman Key once again puts together a drive for the Rams. With just seconds left to go, Key fires this pass over the middle and finds Steven Walker, who has some room and is down. CSU calls a timeout, 5 seconds left, and enter freshman kicker Wyatt Bryan to sit in overtime, and ice in his veins. Tied up 20-20. We're headed to overtime, and CSU starts with the ball. Coleman Key still in at quarterback, dumps this one off to Dalen Dawkins, and oh no, Brett, fumbles. Minnesota picks this one up. Easy to get a field goal for them. They wind up driving down a little bit, set up the easy field goal, and Santoso enters it again and wins this one for Minnesota right there. After the game, it was evident that head coach Mike Bobo learned a lot about his team.
We took some shots from them. We talked about this game being a fight, and we took some shots, some body shots, and we didn't wilter. And our guys kept fighting, they kept hunting, they kept playing. So that's what I learned about the test of can we handle adversity.
All right, Trav, it's time to name off CTV's Players of the Week. This week we have quarterback Coleman Key and safety Kevin Pierre-Louis. Both these guys were total studs against Minnesota. Key was 8 of 13 passing, threw for 91 yards and 1 touchdown. When Key entered the game, he revived the offense that seemed to not have much going for them. After coming into the game, Key led the offense on a touchdown drive and kept hopes alive after leading the Rams down the field with only 55 seconds on the clock to get into field goal range and send it into overtime. Pierre-Louis was all over the field on Saturday and made his presence felt often. He had 11 total tackles, 5 of which were solos. And the Colorado State volleyball team was in the Texas Classic Tournament down in Austin, Texas over the weekend. On Sunday, the Rams swept Iona in 3 straight sets. Senior Alex Reed had a season-high 20 kills in this matchup. Then the tables were turned, and the Rams got swept by number 4 Texas later in the day. The volleyball team's next game will be another big matchup for CSU as they head down to College Station to take on Texas A&M tomorrow.
On Friday, CSU soccer took on Northwestern at the Lagoon, and oh, look at that. Even the doggies made it out. This Northwestern wound up out shooting CSU by 9 in this one and had trouble finding the net early on. CSU goalie Jesse McKinley held the Wildcats scoreless through the first half. Oh, check out this passing.
Man,
right
that
there.
was impressive, Trav.
Emily Grotchen. Both teams struggled to score until freshman forward Hannah Gurdon comes into the game and drills this one from midfield. Impressive goal there. Rams go up 1-0. But after that, it was all Wildcats. Northwestern took control of the game and wound up scoring a goal off of a penalty kick, which we'll see coming up here. And then after that, Northwestern gets the ball again, puts together a drive down the field, and hits the game winner right here.
After Friday's 2-1 loss to Northwestern, the CSU women's soccer team picked up its second win of the season on Sunday, which snapped a 4-game losing skid. The Rams beat Northern Colorado 3-1 on the road. The team was fueled by junior Taylor Nelson, who had 2 goals in the contest, and senior Gianna Marconi had a tally off a penalty kick. CSU's next game will be on the road against Nebraska Omaha on Friday.
The Colorado State men's golf team started the season off strong after coming out on top at the 2015 Gene Miranda Falcon Invitational at Air Force's Eisenhower Golf Club Blue Course. Woo! The Rams came back from a 6-stroke deficit during the final round of play to jump ahead of Day 1 leader Colorado. 4 Rams had top 15 finishes that helped drive the team to the championship title. Senior Dominic Kiefer posted the Rams' best individual finish with a tie for 3rd. Colorado State finished 3 strokes ahead of 2nd place Colorado and 15 strokes ahead of 3rd place Wyoming. The Rams return to play today while hosting the 4th annual Ram Masters Invitational and look to continue their success tomorrow at the Fort Collins Country Club.
The Colorado State women's golf team is currently in the Colonial Wollenberg Ptarmigan Ram Classic Tournament in Fort Collins. The players will wrap up today and continue the tournament tomorrow. For the latest updates, stay tuned to CTV Sports. Well, it is break time.
But don't go anywhere. You won't want to miss our exclusive sit-down interview with CSU quarterback Nick Stevens.
We'll be right back.
Today we will review one of the most convenient services the Laurie Student Center has to offer, shopping. The CSU bookstore boasts an unparalleled selection of CSU apparel and gifts. It also supplies students with textbooks as well as a number of office and school supplies for your every need. Another LSC shopping option lies in the Transit Center area. Snack food, beverages, personal care items, and school supplies. Cam's Lobby Shop is your go-to stop and shop.
The Ramskeller offers a traditional pub menu, 20 beers on tap, and even fresh-to-order pizza coming soon. Stop by Sweet Sensations for a delicious bakery item, espresso, or any other coffee needs you may have.
Hi, welcome to Aspen Grill.
Aspen Grill is a student-operated restaurant located in the University Club. The food court features a number of different restaurants to satisfy your needs between classes.
From Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week to a tough game against Minnesota. It has been an up-and-down season thus far for CSU quarterback Nick Stevens, but after Saturday's loss, head coach Mike Bobo still had confidence in his quarterback, announcing that he will be practicing with the first-team offense this week. I had the opportunity to catch up with Stevens in this week's sit-down interview to hear about his journey in football that began as a center for his 5th-grade football team to filling the shoes of CSU's all-time passing leader, Garrett Grayson.
1st and 10 from the 12th. Lob for the end zone, that's Hollywood! Was he in bounds? Touchdown Rams!
When you hear Nick Stevens, starting quarterback for the Colorado State Rams, what's that like for you?
You know, it's awesome. I think that I've always, since I've been here, you know, dreamed of becoming the starter. And, you know, when I started my high school days, I dreamed of becoming a college football player and then college starter. So I think it just feels really good that, you know, I've finally, you know, achieved that starting position and can just continue to improve from there for sure.
Yeah, and you started playing football in 5th grade.
5th grade,
Convinced your mother to let you play, right?
That's right.
Yeah, and you started at center, and now you're here as a starting college D1 quarterback. What's that road been like for you to get here?
Well, it started because no one else raised their hand when the coach asked who wanted to play center. So I played a lot of positions going up, you know, until high school, and I was actually mainly a receiver, and told the coaches I wanted to play receiver, but they said you're gonna play quarterback. So ended up working out for me. I had a pretty good high school career, my 2 years of varsity, and I've just worked my way up the system here, and you know, I'm super happy to be here. Never regret it. I absolutely love Fort Collins and Colorado State, so it's awesome.
And ex-receiver, so I'm assuming you got some speed in you. I know you rushed for over 600 yards in high school. We see some rushing.
Yeah, I did have some speed in high school, but I think just sitting back in the pocket has slowed me down a little bit. I'm obviously not immobile. I can move around a little bit when I need to, but you know, I'm no speed option quarterback anymore.
Now Hansley in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Stevens steps up in the pocket, wide open downfield. Kevon Cartwright.
All right, well, Coach McElwain leaves for Florida, and in comes another SEC offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
What's the transition been like for you?
You know, it was tough at first. It was a completely different offense. We had some similar kind of concepts, but all different terms. And, you know, I haven't played with a fullback since my freshman year in high school when we ran the veer. So it was really different having 2 backs in the backfield and, you know, the different concepts that we have. So it was rough at first, but I think that, you know, me and all the offense really kind of got it down pretty quick after the few days of struggling. And, you know, round 2 of install during fall was a lot quicker and a lot more crisp. And I think that as an offense, we have it grasped. And personally, I think that you know, I know this offense pretty well so far.
All right, well, you come back after being a backup to Garrett Grayson, broke up just about any CSU record you can imagine.
Yep.
How much better did that make you as a quarterback, being behind him and seeing all of his preparation for games?
I think it made me a lot better. You know, I learned a lot of things that I didn't really have to do in high school. You didn't really have time in a high school schedule to prepare as much because they only were allowed to have you for, you know, 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
And it just takes so much more preparation here at this collegiate level. So I just kind of was able to sit behind him and see what it took to become successful as a starter. And, you know, not only preparation, but just his leadership skills and kind of management of the field. He knew what everybody had to do. Some guys might have to ask him, you know, what do I have on this play? And he knew what everybody had. So I think that I was able to just learn a lot from him, and it was really good for me to take my redshirt year, my redshirt freshman year, sitting behind him and just kind of learning from him, absorbing everything he knew about the offense at the time, and how he kind of handled himself in preparation and stuff like that.
Has he given you advice in this year? Has he called you at all?
In this year, you actually saw him on the field on Saturday. Yeah. He came up and said, you know, enjoy the moment. You only get one first start. You know, this is your team now. Just kind of take it by the reins and make the most of it.
Higgins wide right. Play action for Stevens, looking left, throwing deep for the sideline toward the end zone. It's caught. It's a touchdown.
Do you have any goals for this season for the team or for yourself?
My goal is just to win every game. I'm not a huge personal stat kind of guy. I couldn't tell you how many touchdowns I had in high school, but you know, I do know how many wins we had. So my goal for this team is just, you know, win every game and win a Mountain West title. So I think that that's really what we need to focus on. You can't really focus on individual stats, or else you kind of get away from, you know, what really matters, which is the wins.
Stevens is clearly all about winning football games, and this week's game is a big one in the Rocky Mountain Showdown. We'll be right back with Brett and I's preview of this weekend's football game against CU.
Having one of those days where you need to just get out of your head and chill out? If that's the case, head to the Laurie Student Center and relax. One of the best spots to relax in the LSC is outside the food court on the plinth lawn. Don't forget to stop by the Ramhead Fountain. The Level 100 Commons is the perfect spot. Lounge by the flat screen TVs or enjoy one of the gaming chairs to escape the daily grind. You can always relax in the LSC.
Oh, hey there, Rams.
Today is a great day to play in the LSC, so let's take a look at our ballrooms, theater, and art galleries. The LSC ballrooms, which are the busiest venue in northern Colorado, have been recently renovated. The Laurie Student Center Theater can be transformed to feature films, concerts, lectures, entertainment, and banquets. And last but not least, the Kerfman Gallery provides a showcase for the creations of local and student artists.
But now we're on to Colorado because, I mean, we got a huge rivalry game against an in-state opponent that I'm excited about. I know our players are excited about, and that's our focus. You know, we got to move on, whether it's a win or a loss. And, you know, you hear coaches say it all the time, but I'm excited that we get to play Colorado this week, and I know our kids are going to be excited.
And Brett, obviously Coach Bobo excited for this game, as is the entire state of Colorado. And Coach Bobo has an opportunity to follow Coach McElwain's footsteps and win his first Rocky Mountain Showdown matchup.
And this is a big game for CSU, Trav. If they win this game, this will be the third time they've beaten CU in the past 5 years. So it's kind of that bragging rights feel. This is our state now. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, and over the past 6 matchups, the games are 3-3, and then over the past 4, 2-2. So this is a big bragging rights right here, because whatever team comes out on top will have a lead in most recent seasons.
It'll be interesting to see, Trav. The matchup that I like to see in this defensive-wise is matching up against Nelson Spruce, the Colorado receiver. He's given CSU trouble the last couple years, and I'm interested to see who we line up against him and how they stop him.
And you said it, Nelson Spruce, but also we got to talk about Rashard Higgins. We're not sure if he'll be playing in this one. Coach Bobo said that it's a matter of fighting through pain for Higgins because he has a sprain of some sort. It'll be a cool matchup if he winds up going in, because you have 2 of the best receivers in the nation, which are both in Colorado, and Nelson Spruce and Rashard Higgins. That could be a game to watch if you see those 2 going back and forth offensively.
This team is so much different. They work so differently with Rashard Higgins on the field. Their offensive scheme, they're just so much more flashy. So let's all hope that Rashard Higgins can return and play well.
Yeah, we saw that this weekend. They definitely were missing Higgins. What's your prediction for this game, Brett?
I'm going to say CSU wins 21-13.
21-13. I'm going 28-14. Rams are going to win, and Tony Frank will be going home happy. Just like that. Big old smile for Tony Frank. Well, during the football game on Saturday, we spotted a local product that Coach Bobo should consider signing. Let's see the film. As you see here, this is going to wind up being an incomplete pass, but you see
Trav.
Somebody on the sidelines. And
wait a minute, Trav. That kind of looks like you. Look at that spiral.
Hands and spiral. Yes, thumbs up.
Man.
Coach Bobo, I got 4 years of eligibility. Call me. I'm ready. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for you tonight.
Be sure to check out all of our sports coverage on collegian.com, and don't miss the coverage of the Rocky Mountain Showdown.
Yeah, we'll see you next week right here on CTV Sports. Have a great night.